All right, this is episode 22 of the Casually Toxic Podcast. It is July 1st, and I'm me, Ian, and that's...
Me also.
And what's your name over there?
Serious?
Nice, good call.
Okay, yeah.
All right. And I mean, you guys probably forgot about him. Our fan favorite, our Matthew... I don't know if you want me to say your last name on the podcast, but Matthew has returned.
All those rabid Path of Exile fans from my Reddit posts are going to come hunt me down and yell at me for recommending them. I
forgot we did a 2-person podcast about
we did
the Path of Exile.
That's when I drank like a water bottle that had 2 doses of G Fuel in it.
Dude, you were vibing on that G Fuel.
I went on some rants. I think I revisited that podcast.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that was a long, ranty Path of Exile podcast.
I mean, that's how it goes. I feel like when you and I are unhindered by Cirrus...
That's fair.
We just ran forever.
And amplified by mass amounts of caffeine.
Right.
Also, no one listens.
Hey, don't you dare call out my 50 Path of Exile Reddit fans.
Cirrus?
That's right, actually. We're a Path pod now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, definitely leaning.
So you've been a little busy, Matt.
Yes.
You've been
grinding.
Moving and
a good mix of those 2 words, yeah.
So we're in your new spot right now. How do you like it?
I love it. It's the best apartment that I've ever got, which makes sense because I actually put effort into finding it. Whereas before I was just like, hey, does this house or does this apartment fit my budget? Yeah. And as soon as it did, I was like, okay, I guess we're moving there because I don't want to put in the effort. But this time, my girlfriend and I put in the effort, and it is the best place I've ever lived.
So it took you about a month, right?
It took about a month, 2 months, like going out on the weekends.
To find it.
Yeah, we looked at about probably 15 plus apartment complexes. We use some free service that actually like finds apartments for you. Like, and then if you say you use them to whoever owns the apartment complex, they get a nice little bonus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I've heard the name of it, but it's probably pretty easy to find if you Google it.
So you're on the 3rd floor. I think we might have mentioned this a little earlier when we weren't recording, but this couch is large.
Yes, the couch is a gift from my girlfriend's parents, and I still feel weird about it because it's nice.
Thanks for not calling me to ask to help.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. That we are not that good of friends that you're like, I should call these people to move.
This was a whole conversation I had with my girlfriend when we were moving. She was like, why don't we just call someone to help with us? And I was like, in my group of friends I've had for 10 years, we have never done that without like some form of reimbursement. No one's ever asked anyone to help them move unless it's just like this standard we set. We're not going to interrupt their lives and expect them to come over here and help us for free.
Buy them a pizza.
Well, yeah, just buy them a pizza and some beer.
Even that, it's like you're talking about 5-6 hours moving. I would still feel guilty. Like, it's because this precedent has been set over 10 years that I feel uncomfortable calling anyone to help me to move.
I mean, if you got a precedent, you got a precedent.
Yeah, exactly. It's not necessarily logical, but it definitely like stopped me from requesting help. So
I mean, I would have kind of helped if you asked, but
yeah, same.
I
would have grumbled about it.
See, exactly. You're glad I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't because then I would feel bad.
Yeah,
so.
But it feels good to help out your friends.
Helped.
You know, even if it's like to the
so fuck you for not calling us to help you move.
I can't knowingly ask other people to sacrifice in that way.
It's easy for like anybody to help you out when you know that.
Also, in my mind, I was just like, we can do this, and we did it. So
and you did
do it,
and I didn't annoy anyone. So
fair enough.
But
I mean,
did you break your fucking back?
Oof.
No, my back is fine.
Okay.
I was definitely dead for like.
When did you move
3
in?
days. Last Saturday, so June 23rd
was
our move-in date.
Okay, cool.
But we started packing Friday. It was the worst move I've ever done.
It's the most shit you've had in your life.
It's a lot of shit, and then I realized every other time I moved in the past, I had 3 other roommates, which I didn't factor in. And this time it was just my girlfriend and me, and like, it was a lot. It was just a lot for 2 people to do. It being on the 3rd floor amplified it.
In that July heat.
Yeah, in that 90-degree plus Georgia heat during one of the worst weeks known to man. Anyway, long story short, I'm back. And I should continue to be back.
Awesome. Well, you look thinner, losing all that water weight, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it'll all come right back.
So, still in that kind of post-E3...
The dead zone.
Dead zone. I guess what I kind of want to talk about. So, Hollow Knight recently... It came out at E3 on the Switch, or came out recently after?
They'd been talking, like, leading up even way before E3, they've been like, Hollow Knight's coming out on the Switch, and it became kind of a meme. People are like, oh, it's coming out, 2019, 2020.
Sure.
And then when E3 came out, and they're like, hey, Hollow Knight's out right now.
Yeah, eat shit, losers.
Came out as soon as the trailer came out. And I think I saw, I don't want to say 15 million, because that sounds like a lot.
That does sound like
but
a
I
lot.
think it was something like that.
15 million downloads?
Like on Switch. That's
crazy.
a lot. No, it might have been, but it was like more than the million. Like,
that's really good.
I mean,
a shit ton of downloads.
That kind of adds up.
A shit ton of downloads.
The Switch install base is really big. I remember Rocket League, like, given they had their PlayStation Plus thing, they were toting like 22 million players.
Okay, so maybe 15 million isn't
so
a crazy
15
number.
million is perhaps a realistic figure, especially with that size of install base, all let down by E3, and like they're just hungry for
Oh,
Switch
okay,
games.
so it might have been 15 million total, and 250,000 copies sold
Okay,
on the Switch.
okay, that's still
But still a
either
lot.
way.
And yeah, this is like rewarding a really well put together. Honestly, like possibly my game of the year last year. Definitely like up there.
I would be more likely to play it on Switch. I played about 10 to 15 hours of Hollow Knight, and it just didn't grab me in the same way that it grabbed other people.
That's my problem. I know Sirius really loves it, but I'll play it for a little bit, and then I just stop playing.
It didn't grab me either. I've we talked about this before, but it didn't grab me the first time I played it either. I picked it up, played it for a couple hours, and then I put it down for a long time. And then I think I got a Steam controller on the Steam sale last year. And I was like, this seems like a game to play with a Steam controller. And I played through it, and it just like... I think once you get, not the double jump, but the wall jump. So you have to beat the mantises, which is like the second boss, I think.
That sounds correct.
Once you beat them, then you get the wall jump, and the movement becomes a lot faster, and you start to learn the combat a little more. Then the game flows like a lot better right after that. Because it's just like a lot of like just learning how the game works. Because it's pretty hard.
I got a weird question, I guess. Do you think... So, I have a lot of problems with sticking with games.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a problem with... I mean, it's probably a problem with me, but, like, do you think games have, like, points in them that a lot of people quit because it's either, like, not a great section?
Pacing, yeah. Pacing
so
issues,
it's like,
yeah.
So I wonder if, like, how many games are actually really good, but people just never, like...
I think
if the game's really good, it'll get noticed.
I think that's a part of it, and at least for me personally, I know another big part of it is, like, an addiction to progression systems that single-player games don't always have in the same way as multiplayer games. That's why I get hooked on games like Path of Exile for 1,000 hours, but can't stick through with The Witcher is because
your idea of progression is tied into like stats and numbers, and not like a narrative progression.
Correct, and then a few games still come along and break that, like last year with Nier Automata. But generally speaking, I don't play a lot of single player games because I crave that progression.
Oh no, because you don't get any. There's no stats in Hollow Knight. There's you get like a bigger sword that does double damage, but you don't know what that number is or anything. But like with Hollow Knight, like I loved like just exploring the map. Like when I got to the before the end of the game, when I was like able to do whatever I wanted before, I could choose to fight the final boss whenever I wanted, or go and tie up all the side quests.
Yeah.
So it's just like going around the map, having so much fun, like looking at the map and just like looking for all these like secret pathways and like hidden enemies that I haven't been able to find, and like trying to get like all the final nail upgrades and everything. Like that progression is a lot of fun.
I really like those games where you're so invested in the world that you're not like, I want to finish this game. And
it has really good storytelling, really good lore.
I think the other aspect of it that kind of like was to its detriment for me was I already knew the length of the game going in, and that always ruins it. Like I beat Ori because that was fine. That was like 10 hours, whatever.
It's a short game.
But then I look at Hollow Knight, and I'm like, well, this is 30 to 50 hours, and I just.
Do you look up a game's length before you do it?
Yeah, a lot of times I'll look up how long to beat or whatever before I start playing, because I want to know what I'm getting myself into. And also,
why not just enjoy it and then quit when you want to quit?
Because the game could end up being too short, right? You don't want to spend $60 on a 9-hour game, except for some special cases, so I end up finding out how long it is before I spend the money. It's like a consumer protection thing, but also just because I'm curious, like how much time.
I mean, I understand your point, but just to me, it definitely like breaks the immersion.
No, it does.
It's like when you're watching a YouTube video and it's really good, and then like you touch the thing and you see how long it is, and you're like, oh well, I know. Like if you're watching I'll watch like VODs of fighting game tournaments, and it's like I see it's almost over. It's like, oh, he's not going to come back. Like this is the end
Yeah.
of the thing.
No,
Like,
I mean the way I approach games is notoriously not. It's not good. It's not good.
It's interesting to say the least.
But I don't think I'm alone in it either. At least, especially concerning like the progression thing.
No, not
which is
at all.
why games as a service and like Destiny and games like that are doing so well is because ever since WoW, really, like everyone is so plugged into progression that sometimes appreciating a narrative single player game is really difficult in the current climate.
I feel you. I know I talked a little bit about it last week, but God of War I'm really enjoying it. That game is amazing, but there's times where I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna go play Fortnite.
I want to play God of War. I really do. I've seen a lot of good.
well, that's the thing about
it.
like those narrative-based games like God of War is that it's like it is like a bigger investment. You can't just like pick it up and play for a little while, then put it down. Like you can play a couple games of Fortnite and then quit whenever you want, but like I think it's a bigger investment to like just start playing the game. You know, like, when you wake up and you're like, okay, what am I gonna play? And you think about like, oh well, if I play God of War, if I go to play The Witcher or Nier or whatever, that's gonna like lock me into that.
Yeah.
You know, but I can start playing like Rocket League, and if I'm losing, I can just stop playing and play something else that I'm gonna start doing well at. You know,
it's also, this might just be a personal thing. When I play a game, like a single player game especially, where I know the story's good, or I want to absorb it and sink in and feel like I want to ride that roller coaster that the narrative's trying to.
You smoke a lot of pot.
Right. No. Just you know what I mean. Like I'm trying to vibe with the emotional highs and lows it's trying to get me on. I don't want to be in Discord chatting with everybody.
Sure.
Yeah, I do that too when I'm playing Persona, and I just like drop because like I try to hang on Discord, so I want to talk to everybody, and then I hear you guys talking while I'm trying to play the game.
Yeah,
and it's like, shut the
in
fuck
a
up,
cutscene.
like,
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's obviously a problem in like, horror games, obviously, because nothing is scary if your friends are giggling in the background, right? But
which is sometimes beneficial. Like I don't enjoy horror games. Like
at all.
It just depends if it's sole purpose. Like I'm not into horror games where you don't have control or a way to defend yourself. Like Amnesia was the turning point where I was just like, I really don't enjoy it.
I don't know how many things we agree on, but this is definitely one of them.
Yeah, but as long as it's like you have a way to fight back, like Dead Space or something along those lines. I did not play Isolation.
Alien is still basically the same thing. Yeah, you can fight back, but I actually hated Alien because I got into it and I felt as if I was just.
Played it.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know if I was getting like too aggressive. Like, serious? You're right. But you just hide in the locker forever and then look at your little meteor thing or whatever, and you just see a little dot. I mean, it's spooky because in the atmosphere is amazing, but horror games for me, it has to be Dead Space. It has to be Evil Within.
Yeah, I've not played Evil Within, but I think we're on the same page with that. I think it's largely an extension of I guess I just don't get the same pleasure from being scared as other people do. I don't like roller coasters. I've tried roller coasters. I don't like them. And I think horror games are just an extension of that where I don't get enjoyment from being scared.
The uneasiness.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've talked about it.
I don't mind uneasiness because, like, have you guys heard of the movie Annihilation?
Yeah, yes. I saw it.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah,
I've never seen it. I really want to see no spoilers.
That movie is almost like uneasiness, like defined, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
but there has to be something more than just like the fear.
I hate jump scares where it's just there to scare you,
Everyone
to get your heart going. There's good ones though, right? There's good jump scares. What were you saying?
I was about to go off on a tangent about Annihilation. Did you read Annihilation?
No, I've heard it's.
I heard the book is way different. I haven't read the book at all. The
I
movie was really good, but
I heard the book was not great.
I heard the book was good, but it's just like bonkers. Yeah. Like it's just like
that director, Alex Garland, who also directed Ex Machina, came out and pretty much said like this was his interpretation of it. Yeah. This is not to go too far off the rails here, but
let's go off the rails.
Damon Lindelof is doing the new Watchmen series on HBO, and he came out, and yeah, there's gonna be a Watchmen series on HBO, and he came out and explicitly said this is going to be an interpretation of this. The original work is sacred. We don't want to fuck with it. We're gonna do our interpretation and our spin on it. And I know a lot of people are gonna be pissed off, but this is what it's going to be, and that's kind of what Annihilation...
As long as they do the same kind of thing they did with Annihilation, where it's like, we want to have the same themes, the same ideas, right? It'll still talk about, like, what is it to be a human, what is it, like, America's place in the world, you know, those kind of stuff that they talk about in Watchmen.
If you care about Watchmen, you should read the interview he did, or it was like an Instagram post or something. It was pretty long, but he explained in excruciating detail, like, what his methodology is behind approaching it.
Watchmen is so crazy. Like, there's so much to it, so many, like, layers. Like, you can
I have
read
the
that
book
shit
or the comic book, but I've never read it.
I read the book and saw the movie. I enjoyed both.
Yeah, I like the movie a lot, and I read the book too, and it's so good.
It's really hard as a creator, I feel, to create something that it would be different than people expect and still go through with it. Like what that dude is saying.
You just have to get out ahead of it in advance and let people know so expectations aren't shattered. There's cases of that where they fail miserably, like the Dark Tower movie, where they didn't get out ahead of it. Everyone wanted to go see Dark Tower, and instead they got...
I thought they did get out of it. Nobody I knew was excited about the Dark Tower.
The Dark Tower fan base was, for sure. They were excited about it, extremely doubtful, but excited, because they never really marketed it as what it ended up being. They kept trying to pander to the book crowd, and they just straight up lied, essentially, about what that movie was going to be, and it was not the Dark Tower. I started reading the Dark Tower series. Have you read them? Yes, I've read all 7.
I can't remember.
Or 8 now.
We might have talked about this, we might have not. I got to the first one, and then I started reading that you have to read a ton of Stephen King's other works.
You don't have to.
I mean, yeah, you're right. So I should probably just finish the series. But
at specific points in the story, it would benefit you to read those other books, but it's not so
What other books do they mean? Just like it, right?
No, it's more than it.
I don't want to get into that because it's definitely spoiler territory.
I got something. Nonsense. I got a book called Salem's Lot or something.
Yeah, Salem's Lot. Yeah.
Again, I don't want to get too far into it because, like, saying what book Dark Tower is tied to is very spoilery. But
all the Stephen King books are in the same universe, though. Like most of them.
Yeah.
Most of them incorporate Derry, Maine, in some aspect. Stephen King is like the only author that I've ever deep dived on. I've read most of Stephen King. And it's the only author that ever has, like, really...
Grabbed you?
Yeah, grabbed me in any meaningful way. And I'm not a huge reader. I do audiobooks.
Yeah, audiobooks are the way to go.
Yeah, when I do get into a book.
Did you read, what is it called? It's like 11/24/63?
Yeah, 11/22/63. And I watched the Hulu TV show, which I did enjoy.
The TV show. Is the TV show good?
I liked it.
The book's really good.
The TV show, I would say, was about 85% accurate to the books.
Okay.
They skip over some things, but I understand why
it's a big-ass book.
It's an adaptation. They've got to do something.
But it's very close to the book, and it's so hard for me to judge that TV show outside of being a book reader, because, I don't know, it could be terrible if you've never read the book. I wouldn't know.
I can understand that. So kind of getting back to the gaming portion of this podcast.
Oh, yeah, that. What are games?
Right.
Why do we play them?
You've been watching some Battlefield 5 beta.
That's all anyone can do other than streamers.
Oh, is it just you only get codes?
That's the impression I got, is they're only giving out keys to streamers.
Influencers.
It's
social. You got to have 30,000 followers.
It's kind of disappointing. I'm not a diehard Battlefield fan by any means. I buy like every one and then play for maybe 20 or 30 hours and then drop it till the next one.
I mean, that's a good amount.
Yeah, it's fine. This one looks... they're going to hit a breaking point here, I think, where it's just the same thing. I watched Battlefield 5 for 30 minutes before I realized it was Battlefield 5. I thought they were playing Battlefield 1. I had no idea. I pulled it up and could swear that Battlefield 5 was Battlefield 1.
Huh. Yeah, I when I walked in and I saw you were looking at something, I'm guessing it was Battlefield 5?
It was Battlefield 5.
I could not tell that it was Battlefield 5.
Yeah.
I thought it was Call of Duty.
Same.
Yeah. It's the same thing. I don't get the impression they're doing anything new and exciting. They're just starting to churn out this style games on specifically the Frostbite engine using the exact same mechanics. Battlefront uses them, Battlefield 1 uses them, Battlefield 5 is going to use them. And if the whole twist of Battlefield 5 is that they're adding a Battle Royale mode, I don't really know how that's going to work out for them.
I don't know.
I think that's the only thing that like Battlefield 5 is going to be dependent on for its success. Which
do you think maybe the Battle Royale ship has sailed?
No.
I definitely don't think so.
I think that we haven't seen the full potential of it yet. We're not too far enough into its life cycle as a genre to have seen like what weird, crazy things.
I know it's super new still, but it's just that like Fortnite has such a hold, such a massive player base.
It does.
That is just like, I don't know, and they've got the young kids, like Minecraft age kids, like hooked on it. I don't know how you're gonna get those kids, which is like such a loyal fan base, you know? Like the games that you played when you were 12, like I still like think about Halo, you know, and just like, oh my god, like these kids are gonna be talking about Fortnite that way. Like I wonder if there's room for someone to convince like that demographic to.
I don't know if they need to, because there's also the demographic outside of the Fortnite demographic, which like I would be a part of.
Fortnite.
Yeah, the people that want to lean more in the direction of either like PUBG, like Milsim
I bet there's someone
style.
there to take PUBG's spot, because I feel like
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, PUBG is still extremely successful. They actually released a Battle Pass-esque kind of thing.
I saw that people were pissed off because it's like bullshit.
Supposedly they patched it to make it better. I don't know.
Well, maybe they just patched it to make it better.
I haven't played PUBG.
That's a thing I saw. If you want to like rapidly switch topics,
Yes.
so
Give me
I saw
Whiplash.
a post on Reddit that was talking about that Rare was coming out and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna put everything that the fans are asking for into Sea of Thieves."
Battle Royale.
And everyone was like, "Oh, that's cool that the devs are doing what people want," but like. We've praised Ubisoft in the past for being like, oh, they stick with the games, but like, at what point are you just gonna say like, hey, just put out the game that's finished? Don't like put out a piece of shit and have us pay $60 to beta test it for a year and a half, and then you put out at next E3, hey, the game's good now.
I think in the case of Ubisoft versus Sea of Thieves, there was no content basically.
Yeah. They never intended to put out a full game.
it was
when For Honor came out, in Ubisoft's mind, they were probably like, this is how the game is going to be. It's good the way that it is.
I haven't played Sea of Thieves, but the impression I get from it is that it's just No Man's Sky all over again.
Yeah.
Well,
Big and empty,
to be fair, No Man's Sky was supported heavily and became a complete game, but by then it was too late. So I assume the same thing will happen.
Yeah, so I guess the difference is content, because when For Honor released, it had 12 characters, I think, and definitely a lot of maps, and the only problem was really they didn't have dedicated servers, and then the gameplay was a bit rough around the edges. Same thing with
people would want to run away in 1v1s.
What
in For Honor when it first came out.
I mean, people
that shit is like, oh my god, people are terrible. Just like if you play games online, you're probably a bad person.
I can attest to that.
I'm a great person. I play games.
That's why I said probably.
Okay.
Like probably.
Okay. I've never done a mean thing in my life. More topic switching coming up. SGDQ just ended with like 2.1 million or something.
Yeah, $2.12 million dues.
That's wild.
For the Doctors Without Borders.
I watched zero of it.
Did you watch any of it?
I peeped a little bit of it.
I
saw TMR play Cuphead, which is hilarious.
I didn't see that.
The Mexican runner. I watched his stream, like, his regular stream, and he's funny. I like him.
How do you feel about, I guess, the but the more, I don't want to use the term PC, but like the more
proto-magical girl?
You mean?
No. Measured, God, this is a struggling sentence. Like a measured amount of shit they can say, if that makes any sense.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
So I'll give it to you straight. There's a trans girl named Proto-Magical Girl who's been doing the GDQ for at least a couple of years. I don't know how long she's been in it. And there once was a time that the Twitch chat on GDQ was like the Wild West, and there's no rules, and it was just like the fucking toucan and Mario with his dick out, and, all that shit. Yeah.
The good old days.
Yeah, the good old days. Late Toucan has arrived. And then they were like, hey, let's try to make Twitch chat not like this. And then every time Proto-Magical Girl would come on, they'd spam that one emote of the girl with pink hair or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then they'd be like, you're still a dude no matter what. You're a bro. You got a dick.
Wait, the Dan's Game thing?
No, not Dan's game. It's a girl.
It's not Dan's game, but Dan had an emote of him.
Or is it one of his emotes?
Yeah, of him in a wig or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's probably what it is. Yeah, it's Dan's game, him in a wig. And so they banned it, and then the fucking people got upset because they were like, they won't let me say hateful things in Twitch chat anymore.
I don't think. Okay, definitely shouldn't be. I mean, it's Twitch chat. Everyone's immature in Twitch chat.
This is a very broad topic. There's no like easy approach.
Well, people are just complaining because it's another thing people complain about, like Spooky streams lately. Spooky streams fighting games, fighting game tournaments. And he recently, like, people would talk shit to him, like, directly.
Yeah.
And so he changed it to be, like, sub-only mode, and people were like, Spooky being a little bitch, you won't let us talk shit to your face. And he's just like, I do this service for you guys so you can watch the stream, and you shit on me because you don't like me, like, personally.
Yeah, no,
for whatever dumbass reason.
I feel there's a very fine line in between just letting people just spam bullshit, and it's too much. There's racist shit going on in there. It's too much and so censored that it loses its soul.
I just feel like if you're one of those people who's upset that you can't type whatever you want into Twitch chat during GDQ, you just got like a lot of free time.
Yeah,
it's so stupid to like go onto Reddit and make a post and be like, I got banned from so and so's chat because all I did was call her a chick with a dick, and it's like, yeah, dude, like, people don't tolerate that bullshit.
It's probably fucking rough out there, man. I don't know. I definitely don't agree with that shit. With spamming shit and just being like, why are you mad just because I'm insulting you? It's just like, but you're not the first. You're not going to be the last. There's 100 other people that are going to talk shit to you in that day alone. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know. I've actually fallen off SGD. I used to watch it a lot.
This is the least I've watched SGDQ in the past.
I only watched it
3-4 years, maybe.
Semi-seriously for the last one.
It's just the same shit. Hey, first long-time watcher, first-time donator here. Fucking XYZ, here's a dollar amount. I don't know. It's just...
Yeah. My grandma died of cancer, and my mom died of cancer, and also... my dad and my dog died of cancer.
Well,
here's $11. This is my favorite video game.
If you look past that, though, I assume there's like an enjoyment of like the speedruns themselves. And
100%.
It helped me get into watching speedruns. Everybody that I follow on Twitch plays fighting games and speedruns.
So
that's it.
So I guess your guys' criticism more focuses around like the Twitch presentation.
Well, that was just like a little sidebar thing.
Sure.
Basically, my not watching GDQ as much is just like, I guess since I've gotten more into speedruns, I know what I want to watch, So I watched, like, the Cuphead run. I like to watch the Tetris runs. I'll watch the VODs because, like, it's nonstop for a week, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how many hours that adds up to.
A lot.
Like, 1,600 or something like that.
And nonstop for a week?
There's no, it's
24 times.
Oh, no.
It's
1,600 minutes. Or...
Whoa.
Why would you know that? Why would you know that?
Is off.
No, it's 10 days.
It's like 168 hours are in a week.
Yeah, so whatever. It's a fucking too much time to be watching all that shit when it's not that good. Like, all the way through,
Sure.
Good try. You have to put no spaces.
You can put hours.
Also, that's
Ian is currently Googling how many hours are in a week, and it's 168.
I just tried typing in 24 times 7, and why are you using fucking Bing?
I'm not using Bing.
I guarantee you're using
I promise
Bing
you
right
it's
there.
168 hours.
It's 168 hours. There's
I promise.
There's
I believe
14,400 minutes in 10 days. That's what I was thinking of.
Seven times.
Wow, we're still going on this.
Is 140.
I guess.
But yeah, there's just like a lot of fat on
28.
GDQ. There's like a lot of fat that you don't need to pay attention to, and I know there's like a vetting process for runners. Like, you submit your runs, and then they like check and see if you can get accepted to like be on GDQ. But like, there's just too many runs where it's like, even if the run itself is impressive, these are like awkward people who are not as like free flowing because there's a pretty big crowd behind them, and then like, hundreds of thousands of people are watching on Twitch, or at least like 80,000 at like the low points.
Yeah, but it's also all right. Finish your thought.
And they like get these people on the couch. Like, I've seen events where it's like there's a dude on the couch, and it's like nobody even knows that guy. Like, he just walked up and now he's like spewing bullshit.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
Do you think of that Twitch clip?
I can't. The one who just turned around, he's just like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, I think it's been like Ratchet and Clank or something.
No, it was God, it was not Ratchet and Clank. There was another runner that was playing Ratchet and Clank though that everybody liked, and then he got banned from GDQ or something because he. The thing is, I don't like speedrunners having to measure everything. It's Twitch chat, fine, but don't be. The speedrunners aren't going to spew fucking bullshit in the middle of their run. Just let them say, a cuss word or a couple or whatever.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. They want it to be like very PG or G.
Yeah,
they don't want you to swear at all or anything like that.
If I had to land on either one side, I would obviously rather land on the PC side than people fucking hard on the N-word at black people that come on stream. But it's there needs to be some kind of edge to it where it's not just.
Yeah, they need to at least be able to be like, hey, after like 11 o'clock, we're like changing the rules, like they do on regular TV. Like if you watch Comedy Central, right? They censor all of the swear words and everything. If you watch Comedy Central after midnight to like 3 a.m., that you can say whatever you want on Comedy Central.
I feel like that's a really good idea. That's when you get those Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah, that's when they start showing all the fucking Girls Gone Wild shit and those steel drums, dude.
Hey.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm distant from this topic, or I just don't care. I guess I just don't see the problem with it, and I keep thinking about Ninja was on a podcast, the H1 podcast, whatever.
Yeah,
he was talking about how
H3 probably
H3 something.
How did you make? All right, continue.
Anyway, I'm not that deep. Anyway, he was talking about
keeping us on track with this podcast.
He was talking about how like the Fortnite audience is primarily younger people, and he stopped cursing on his channel entirely. He sat down with his wife and talked about it. Just basically said this is a necessary thing.
Yeah,
this is
Dr. Disrespect did the same thing back when he was like, I don't swear on stream anymore, and like I won't talk about. But
his audience feels older. I guess
it is older than Ninja's for sure. Yeah. But he's like said this before, where he was like, a lot of my viewers are like elementary school kids, and I'm not gonna swear in front of them.
And that's my point being, in these cases, I just feel if it's up to them. Like I don't have it in me to come down.
Problems or up to GDQ.
Up to GDQ.
See, no, it is ultimately up to GDQ, right?
Exactly, and that's why if they're the creators, if they decide they want to have a more PG environment, it's fine. I'd be more up in arms about it if a third party like Twitch itself came in and told them to censor it. Then you have a problem. But if the creators are deciding that they want this censored, I have a hard time picking a bone with that.
The issue is that
it didn't start off PC.
No, not that it didn't start off PC. Like I'm just talking about why I don't enjoy watching it as much as I used to.
And that's fair.
And the issue with that censorship is that it's fine if you like have those rules for the whole thing and everyone who joins, but it's just that like the streamers that you bring on for your show aren't like that on their regular stream. And GDQ is just 1 week out of the year, or 2 weeks out of the year if you count winter GDQ. So like you have these people who are like they don't have their like style of comedy, they don't flow as well, they don't crack the right jokes because they like are like censoring themselves all the time, and it's just boring.
Sure,
that's all.
And looking at it from the outside, I would say there just probably isn't an easy. It's two bad solutions, and it sounds like
I think seriously,
picked
solution of after 11 p.m. I mean, children shouldn't be watching at that.
I don't even think it's about protecting children as much as whatever image they want to create.
It's the image they want to advertise.
It's the image they want to advertise. I don't think it's necessarily about. Oh, there's a 9-year-old. Most 9-year-olds curse anyway, but there's a 9-year-old like watching this stream, and we're going to ruin his life. I don't think it's about that. I think it's about the overall package image that they want.
They want to be like the most accepting, the most open. That's why they have like several trans people on, lots of gay people. Like they just want it to be the most open and accepting.
And if that's the angle they've decided to go with, at the cost of making it less entertaining for some people like you.
Yeah,
I can't criticize.
I just watch the VODs of like the 2 or 3 speedruns that I want to see, and that's it. Like,
so I don't know where I fall on this issue. Is there too much acceptance?
Acceptance?
Yeah, like can you try and please everybody to a fault?
I mean, that's like a really broad question.
Yeah, I know. But
I mean, theoretically, yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm not touching this with a 2-foot pole right now.
We specialize in very charged questions on this podcast.
To answer your question, there is no answer. I mean, that's just
Glad to have you on, man.
There are points that would say there is too much, and there are points that would say there's not enough.
Fair enough.
What you're asking encompasses so many different people from so many different backgrounds that there is no blanket.
Yeah.
Yes or no.
No, I mean, I'm not expecting you to say your answer and it's going to be the most thought out fucking thing in the world.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
I'm just not willing to share it here because it will change everything.
Yeah, you want to keep that side of you outside of this podcast. Yeah. I feel that. So SGDQ ended, but CEO began, which you have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
No idea. A CEO began. He was born. He will one day rise to the CEO to rise to take over Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, and
what's this man's name? Give him a name.
I'm out.
Gerald. That's his name, dude.
No,
I'm
that's
thinking
pretty
Gerald.
derivative. My first thought was...
You had nothing.
My first thought it was Jesus, but...
Oh my god, okay. CEO is a fighting game tournament.
In Orlando.
Hey, that's not too different from the real
where you play in a fucking wrestling ring,
Yeah,
dude.
it's all... they have like a big deal now with the... what is it called? The Japanese wrestling thing. I can't remember the name.
Lord Jane is his name, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the top 8 will be inside of a wrestling ring, and they get Kenny Omega and the other guy. What's his name? Xander.
They play fighting games and a wrestling.
It's
ring?
hilarious.
Yeah, and they have like big walk-ups and shit. It's a lot of fun.
That's actually fantastic. Where is it? California?
Orlando.
Oh,
Florida.
Same thing.
New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's what it's called. Yeah. So they have a deal with them to send over like fighters from the Japan Wrestling League that come over.
Yeah. Esports is great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I love it, dude.
There's Kenny Omega has like in Tekken, you can like customize your character and make him wear all kinds of silly shit, and you can make him wear like a shirt that says Bullet Club on it. That's Kenny Omega's like brand.
Yeah. It's so
he's like
good.
a real dude.
I was watching a dude. It was for a game called Killer Instinct. I was watching a dude just like hype up the crowd coming down the ramp. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
CEO's a lot of fun, and it's like the last big tournament before EVO, so it's a lot of players like last chance to like show off. Or if you, although like pretty much every fighting game nowadays has like a world tournament where it's like you do all these smaller tournaments throughout the year, and then at the end there's the big one and you get points based on your placing throughout the year. So like CEO is one of the last chances to qualify for EVO as well. So people who are like on the cusp, or like some random up and comer, if you like suddenly make it to like first or top 2 or something, then you automatically get placed.
Oh, okay, yeah, because EVO is still an open tournament, correct? Everybody can
yeah, anybody can enter.
Yeah, it's open pools.
Yeah, I think it's open pools. Yeah.
Okay, you said qualifying. I was like,
yeah, EVO's open, but it's the qualifying for the Tekken World Tournament. That's what it is.
Yeah,
and the same as like the Street Fighter tournament and everything else.
It's so good. I love fighting games, dude.
Fighting game
esports
hilarious. Are really good.
I like watching fighting games. I've watched EVO in the past, but that's like the beginning and end of it.
You should get into it.
You would enjoy it a lot.
You would love it.
I know that
mechanical skill.
I know. I'm aware of all the bullet points of why.
Endless mechanical skill.
It's so much to a fault. I would say Rocket League is easy compared to a fighting game.
Whoa, not touching that either. But I know on like paper, when I sit down and like invest myself into a game, I'm going to be invested, and I'm not taking the plunge to where like if I start playing a fighting game, I will be better than all of you.
No, you won't.
Yeah, absolutely will.
God,
but
I want you to play a fighting game so
there
bad.
is no doubt in my mind that I will surpass all of you with it. But I will every time I
forgive me, Master.
Every time I do that with the game, whether it be CS:GO, Rocket League, whatever, I lose a piece of myself, and I'm not willing to chuck up another.
But
piece
fighting
yet.
games are a lot more social than these.
Yeah, and it's also
I will make it antisocial.
I mean, it can be antisocial. The same, the dude that I was referencing walking into the ring, his partner was already sat down, and he just gets in the ring and he goes, he just mouths "calm down." This is like fair enough, my guy.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine just sitting there with your fight stick, just ready for this guy, and he's hyping up the crowd?
Yeah, there's like fire coming out.
He fucking hops over the I don't know what the ropes to get in the ring. And you're just like, oh my god, that guy got 3-0'd.
Yeah, of course.
It's just great, dude.
If I pick up a fighting game, I'll either play for 5 hours or 5,000 hours.
God,
There's like no in between, and I don't want to.
Play a fighting game with us. We'd love that.
Also, I mean, if I would have to break it down in the miserable way that I do, and I'd have to look at the fighting games and be like, what's the most played? And then I would realize it's Street Fighter, and then I would have to get Street Fighter.
It's not Street Fighter.
Play Street Fighter, it's fine.
That's like the core fighting.
I mean, it is the most popular fighting game, but the thing that I had to kill, where I was the exact same with you, as I would play super popular games, the most popular, usually the better. I wanted a high player base with fighting games because it's a genre that isn't
your
MOBA.
Skills transfer over.
Yeah, that, but also it's not gigantic, right? FPS is bigger, right? MOBA's bigger, but it's kind of in that niche of, I think it's bigger than RTSs for sure.
Oh yeah. RTSs are dead.
Yeah. So it's
everything's bigger than.
So I would say it's a second tier genre.
Sure.
So for Tekken 7 on PC,
Rocket League is also second tier essentially. There is like a tier list of like games, like they've done it based on Twitch viewership. Like what the first tier, like
what's number one?
Esports, it's Dota or League, and then CS:GO.
Nowadays,
CS:GO is tier 1. Nowadays, probably Fortnite. Then tier 2 were games like Rocket League and some lesser known MOBAs, or like Smite is like a tier 2.
Okay, I would say it's probably around Smite in terms of viewers. It depends though.
The thing about it is that like Street Fighter has Daigo, right? And if Daigo streams, he'll get like a couple thousand viewers, like easy.
Yeah.
But
Daigo's like the best player.
Yeah, Daigo's the best, like,
or was,
generally considered historically the best Street Fighter player. He's not anymore.
Have you seen Evo Moment 37?
It's a huge thing to know.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's like a legend, and he's Japanese, and he started streaming like last year, 2 years ago on Twitch, and he gets like a lot of viewers, and he's like, sponsored by Red Bull and stuff. But the other like big fighting game streamers don't get like a huge amount of viewers regularly, but when the tournaments come around, like CEO will be on, it'll get like a shit ton.
Yeah, it'll be top
50, 60, 80,000 viewers.
So just for fidelity, like the thing I was referencing was average Twitch viewers over like a period of time.
Okay.
So it counts for spikes like that.
Okay.
But I mean, I know you were saying this tier thing just kind of off the top of your head, but like it does exist, and it's based on average Twitch viewership over time.
I would attribute it to closer to CS:GO, where it's not super up there on Twitch unless there's a tournament going on.
Well, with CS:GO, there's always a tournament.
Yeah,
that's kind of the thing with this. It's like,
if you looked at Rocket League and only counted its like tournament, it would be basically the number. Like Rocket League was number 1 on Twitch every time RLCS was on. But that means nothing because it has 2,000 viewers when RLCS isn't on.
Yeah, it might be the same shit. I haven't looked at Twitch a lot lately. Overwatch League was super popular, always blew up, and then it's kind of it's. I feel like with RLCS, how long has it been going on?
This was season 5, and I guess it's one season. No, the game hasn't been out for 5 years. I guess they do 2 a year. So yeah, it's been out for 3 years.
I guess what I'm saying is I wonder if it's going to kind of plateau off.
Oh, I have no idea. No one can ever possibly know the future of that.
With fighting games, what I was trying to get at is you have to pick the one that you enjoy, because you're always going to find people online, and Matt, you're never going to be that good. To the point where you're like struggling.
Yeah, you will never be that good.
You're not going to be that good.
You don't know. Listen, I know that you're thinking that like, oh, well, I dedicate so much time. These people at the top that you're going to see on CEO, like, it's an unbelievable amount of time that they put into the game. Like, they've already broken down the game to the level that you think that you're going to go in and like break it down. Like you can do that, but it won't be new ground. Those resources are already there.
Sure,
like,
you won't be one of the players that are breaking new ground, but like, and normally I guess I would agree with that until I got to the upper tiers of Rocket League and I saw what I had left and what ground I had left to tread to become one of those people. It's a lot, but it is doable.
I mean, anything's doable.
I mean, it's doable, but I would say you'd probably have to play like let's say if you started playing Tekken tomorrow, I would say if you like seriously played it.
It's been out for what, a year?
Tekken 7 has been out. Well, it's a weird thing. It came out on arcade in Japan several years ago.
For the majority of the player base, it's been out for a year.
US console release and PC release.
It follows like the average time curve of like most competitive like online games, and most of like the top players are probably around like 1,000 to 1,500 right now, and then that number continues to like remains pretty consistent over the next 3 years.
But the one thing that you are not considering is that Tekken is what they call a legacy game.
Yeah,
sure.
These are dudes who've been playing since Tekken 1.
Yeah.
Since 1998, they've been playing.
But if you account all that, then it takes 10,000 hours to master something, and you're looking more like 10,000.
Yeah, so it's like saying that like if I jumped on the CS wagon on CS:GO, and you're saying like I'm going to be able to beat Source players in a year, it's like you will not be better than people.
You just gave me another reason not to get super invested into fighting games.
Well, here's the thing, though. It's because you're right. It does take a lot of hours, but there are shortcuts. So I know you said you wanted to make it antisocial, but a big portion of fighting games is going and meeting up with players and playing in like a tournament setting, right?
Yeah.
So me and Scotty go to fighting game tournaments, and we suck. And I haven't actually competed, so I don't know why I'm saying we. Scotty's done all right, but he's not killing people, right? He'll take some rounds. But the shortcuts, what I'm trying to say is you go to a fighting games tournament where someone's immediately better and they're sitting right next to you. And the thing is, fighting games are such a fucking different culture. It's weird to, say. People are just more helpful. I mean, you gotta take...
No, it makes
you gotta
sense.
take
I
your
mean,
losses.
I've seen the Smash community. I've been to,
Smash
tournaments in the past.
It's different than Smash is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I mean, Scotty... I was sitting next to Scotty, and Scotty was getting fucking rolled. Sorry, Scotty. By this dude, and he was mid-juggle comboing Scotty, killing him. He was like, hey, here's what you need to do. See, if you sidestep left on this move, you're going to get hit, blah, 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 right? It's just, this dude is so helpful, gets nothing from it, and it was just, that's it. People just want more, because the FGC, is what they call it, a poverty esport or whatever, where it's not super big, so they want more people to come in. So, yeah, if you're, easily... I don't want to say pissed off, but if you want to make a lot of complaints on your losses in a fighting game, you're going to get shit talked.
Yeah.
So there's a certain personality trait.
You got to be able to take your lumps.
Yeah. That's I guess what I'm trying to go for.
With shorter match times, that is something I can do. With longer match times, that is something I cannot do. Which is why
Street Fighter's way shorter than Smash.
Yeah.
That's why. Well, I was going to say that's why I got up to Diamond in StarCraft and then fell off because that shit was killing me.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys wanted to play Street Fighter, I would be down to mess around with it.
Yeah, I mean, we can probably talk about that one
We'll
little
see.
later.
Right now, I have one goal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm going to get you into Tekken. And you're going to play. And you're going to be like, hey, I'm just backdashing. Is that okay? I'm like,
talk to me after I kill Uber Elder.
Show you, dude.
Talk to me after I kill Uber Elder, and then maybe.
So what are you gonna?
You're
what's your plan to stop playing Path? Because I don't understand what you say. I'm gonna beat Path.
I have to kill all the bosses, which I've done some of them, and then I have to defeat the hard mode versions, the Uber version of the bosses, and then I'm done. I undershot what it took to do all of this, so I'm still at it, and it's rough. And I would say to anyone that gets into Path or is playing Path, if you're sitting down with these goals, prepare to do a lot more than you could have originally anticipated. I made that entire guide, which I now look back on, and I've learned that it's basically bullshit because you're probably not going to kill Uber Elder with one character. You could, but now I have 3 characters.
It's that hard?
If you want to do it consistently and easily, then it's a lot. It led to me having my first character, which was supposed to do it by himself. He couldn't, without an insane amount of currency.
Okay.
So then I made a second character that was meant to generate currency that all has magic fine gear and has increased rarity and quantity and whatever. I dumped multiple exalts in that, and then I played that nonstop, and then that's funding the final form.
Oh no.
Which should just decimate the entire game. I'm going to do all this work, lay all this groundwork, and then probably over the course a day or two, just destroy everything. And then I'm just going to take a step back from Path. I've watched a virtual game economy crash. That was pretty fun.
Wait, what?
My exalts were all worth 180 chaos, which was
a lot.
It's well, I had 10 exalts, right?
Right.
And they're all worth 180 chaos, and chaos is $1, and your exalts are I don't know, something to represent the dollar. And then I woke up the next morning and they're all worth 100 chaos. And then there was the people that sold them when they're at 180 chaos, and they were fine. And there are people like me that just lost half of their money because of the crash. And
that's a rough one.
the Reddit was blowing up in the forums. And it was all because GGG did a ban wave of bots. And it turns out there was bots injecting this currency into the economy that made Chaos worth less.
There's always going to be bots. So, I can't remember if I talked about this, but when I haven't played this season. I played the previous season.
Yes.
I just stopped. Like, Uber Elder was a goal that I was like, hey, this would be cool to do. But it seemed like one of those goals in a game where it's just there to just be there to say, hey, yeah, I haven't finished the game because there's still technically one more thing to do, but what's really the point?
Well...
Because I was basically done with a map.
So, in my mind, there's a few goals. There's Uber Elder, there's hitting level 100, and then there's getting 40 out of 40 challenges. Those are like the big pie in the sky like goals in this game. I'm not looking to do 40 out of 40 challenges or do leveling. I don't think you can do all three of those things in a league unless you're truly masochistic. So it's not like there's one more thing out there. It's like there's three more things out there, and then once you've done those three things, you can kind of be like, all right, I've kind of seen what Path has had to offer, except outside of builds. My goal is just Atlas completion, which is doing every map in the game, killing Uber Elder, and then I can finally go play something else.
What's the next game?
Tekken.
Tekken.
Well, you guys...
Steam Summer Sale is going on right now.
You guys have me somewhat thinking about fighting games, but I was probably going to play Wreckfest next, and then maybe play more of what I have been playing, which has been a little bit of Hot Lava.
What is Hot Lava?
Have you guys ever... Do you guys own Counter-Strike?
Yeah, I mean, the game's awful.
Have you guys ever seen KZ servers? You never heard of KZ?
I never really played
Counter-Strike. Is that the knife surfing thing or whatever?
It's not surfing. So there's this whole community that was born back in I think going back as far as 1.6 that made climbing maps, basically jump challenges essentially. And the way the Source engine works is it was kind of buggy, right? Where if you jump and you hold strafe and you turn your mouse, then you accelerate more. So people would be strafing back and forth, doing this weaving kind of motion to
snaking.
Yes,
it's a racing thing that happens in racing games.
Yeah.
There was a Mario Kart that had that same kind of thing where for some reason if you turned a certain way back and forth rapidly, you would go faster than your normal top speed. So if you watch I know it sounds silly to say high level Mario Kart, but these dudes would just be going snaking, just left and right constantly.
Yo, I wonder what the high tier of items are in high place in Mario Kart. Is Blue Shell just you pull into second place because nobody wants to be in first, so you just fucking lose?
So that it's basically like that, except in the Source engine, and that's just existed in the Source engine forever. So people make climbing maps, and there's this whole and I played probably 100, 200 hours of KZ maps, climbing maps back in the day. I found it so much fun.
What's that dude? It's a montage. God, it's such a popular CS:GO montage where he's jumping out connector into something.
I haven't seen. That's probably surf maps, which is different.
No,
but same idea.
It was some fucking dude. I don't know.
Anyway,
it looks really cool.
The developer of Hot Lava basically either played KZ or saw KZ and was like, I'm going to make a game that incorporates these crazy fucking competitive mechanics and live out the childhood fantasy of pretending the floor is lava. So you basically, it's always online, and then you have 8 other players in your map, and the floor turns to lava, and it's the childhood thing where you have to jump on top of things and through things and avoid touching the floor.
That's really cool.
And then it uses all the crazy mechanics from the Source engine, which it's a really interesting game, and it resurrected a weird niche CS thing I never thought it would. I would ever see in a game again.
Huh. Yeah. So that game I feel like I've seen it. So I don't know how to describe it. So it's just you're hopping. You said you're hopping on different objects or whatever.
Yeah. So there'll be chairs or tables you can hop on, and then there's checkpoints. You hit the checkpoints. If you hit the floor, which is lava again, then
it's over.
Then no, you go back to your previous checkpoint, and eventually what this is going to turn into is speedruns, basically.
That's really
You
cool.
just keep trying to hone your ability to jump through this map, and when you watch people that are really good at KZ maps of CS, it's crazy.
So it's a horizontal.
It's not
over it with Bennett Foddy.
There it is.
way quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, way faster, and just like it's not clunky. The controls are so tight.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you. Well, shit, guys. Anything else you boys want to talk about?
World Cup is still dope. Y'all should pretend to watch. I'm not rooting for anybody. I'm just enjoying it because, I picked France to win because I think that's a smart pick, and I root for Iran, but they have no chance to win, especially now that they're out of the tournament.
Oof.
And USA didn't even make it to the tournament, and El Salvador is very bad at soccer, so I don't have any team to root for the World Cup. So I just enjoy the game and watch the game.
Sports.
How do you feel about real soccer?
We like sports, and we don't care who knows.
I don't know what you're talking about. Rocket League is real. Soccer copied Rocket League. Psyonix created soccer, for that matter. One last thing on High Lava. It's $10 on Steam, and it includes 2 copies.
Oh,
so
shit.
if it's at all appealing to anyone, I'm just like, it's $10 investment. You get 2 copies. Send one to a friend.
What's the hook? What are you guys looking for on the Steam Summer Sale? Any potential buys?
Yakuza, Okami, maybe something else. So.
Nice.
Nothing for me.
I think I might pick up Divinity, but we'll see.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Divinity's on
I'm in
sale.
such
I gotta buy a stick, dude. I can't afford all these games.
Yeah.
This was almost the perfect time for me, Tackle Path, because there's just not a lot that I'm excited to play right now. I don't feel like I'm missing much of anything other than just kind of like messing around with some games.
Okay.
There's like nothing on the immediate horizon outside of like the MMO world, which who knows when those are even coming, that I'm super excited about right now.
I got you.
So.
Well, I kind of been slacking lately on the podcast, sending out or shouting out our email, casuallytoxicquestions@gmail.com. If you got a question, fucking email us, and we'll check it before the next one.
Did you check it?
Shit on.
Have you been checking it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's about it for this podcast, boys. Great job.
Another legendary one.
Dude, it's going to go down in history. Fucking kids 30 years from now are going to look back in their history books and be like, damn, this is how the best podcast ever created started.
They're actually going to stop making all the other podcasts.
Yeah, they're just going to like, what's the point? This is always...
Eventually, it'll be like a 14-hour podcast.
Yes.
We'll just have like
three
guests
times
come
a
in
week.
and out.
Yeah,
like,
just cycle through.
We'll hire staff that cycles in and out, and our podcast will be something really generic, just like table or something, and it's just free game.
Look
Talk
forward
about
to that.
anything.
2050, the oceans will be rising, and CT will be unstoppable.
Hell yeah. 2050.
If you're still alive in 2050 and listening to this podcast.
Hello, cyborg people in the future. Listening to
Are we
this.
talking to people in 2050 or are we talking to people in like 24?
It depends on what you consider a person. Because
All right, let's
these are
not get
like
into
half
this.
robot, half...
Get us out of here, Scotty. Pause it.
Hello, people 2430.